before he became as a builder, I know him. He's building it with the projects with around the 300, 400 million dollars worth of products, the projects he's doing it. But again, when we was talking, the conversations come. He said, Selva, he's mid-50s now. So I started with the scratch. Then my mindset is still different. My daughter is involved in my business. She's telling me to do different way of things I can't able to accept. But I'm trying to say, different generation is there. Different generation, different age group people target the different group of people. But I'm saying right now, the product, there are a variety of products available in the real estate industry. Not one, not only houses. There are a lot of things available. Same thing, the clientele, different age group, different approaches. That's been your marketing strategies. Your marketing strategies, you can do it differently. Communication method, using the vocabularies, everything is different. Then what is the basic is, every one of you can sell real estate. Nobody born with as the marketing person or business person. Everybody is based on the situation, where is the circle you are in. Whatever the circle you are sitting there, whatever the circle you are, the circle of people you are talking, going to bring you up in the business. Then what you have to do, anybody you come from any industry, doesn't matter. You have to find the circles of real estate, the producers group. Then when you sit with them at least once a week or twice a week, you get lots of ideas and lots of inputs, how other people are marketing. And plus, you may, when you see the real estate agent, within your circle at least, you can see how much money they are making, how they are making money. You can follow the path. Success is not for one person. Who are following the path, they are getting the success. That's written. There's nobody can change that one. That's the definition. Okay. For example, if you think you are not doing good, only you are doing only a few deals a year, that's one is good for you. That's one is enough. You satisfying enough with that 6 deals a year and making $100,000. You are happy with the family and friends and everybody. This is your target. Be happy and stay safe and be healthy. But at the same time, if you think I want millions, just see who is making millions. How many hours they are sending the real estate industry? What are the strategies they are using it? You have to follow. That's been what I am telling you today. Follow the successful person's path. Follow the successful person's path. I can tell you one little example. One of the salesperson in our office, maybe around over 10 years, I would say. He lives in Brampton. He doesn't come to the meeting that much. But at the same time, I still remember 7-8 years ago, we had a discussion and I told him, if you have an accounting background, why don't you start doing the taxes? That's what I did. I did the tax business before I come to real estate industry. That's for the prospecting category that I'm talking right now. Then I said, why, if you have an accounting background, why don't you start a little bit? I'm very happy. I met him again 2 months ago. All his clientele is coming from his accounting and tax business, and he's making the accounting and tax business over $100,000. And real estate this year, he already the first time he said over 100, and I can see this year his income is 200,000. But I'm trying to say, we have to find the clients is up to you. I'm not saying go to the tax business for everybody. If you have a talent on that side, but you have to connect. Our business is a connection business, public connection business. Okay, today, what I'm trying to say, if you wanted to get success, if you wanted to make millions, your goal and to have it, achieve it, think about it. How can you make this one happen? Follow the successful person path, and what he is doing it, you can do the same way. That's going to give you guys for definitely the results going to be there. And marketing. Read more books about marketing than sales. Sales come itself. Read the marketing, new strategies for the marketing. Every time, whenever you go there out and meeting the pupils, think about how you can convert their knowledge to you. What you can get from there, and you put it in the real estate industry to grow. If you keep thinking that one. Definitely you're going to be there. Today, how many agents are there right now? Okay, already 50 members are here today this morning. Last week, this went over 130. Everybody comes slowly. You join. That's the reason first 10 minutes I spent and talking in common. Guys, whatever the money you want to make is there. Okay, what are the, if you think you are not getting success, the way you approach this is change your approach. Change your approach. That's the only what I would say. Change your approach. Move to different, if you go to the fishing for one lake, there's no fishes. Go to the different lake. The different method. Same thing real estate industry. We can see the real estate industry, the Toronto Real Estate Board. The Toronto Real Estate Board, how many billions transactions are rotating, then why not you? You have to think that way. And every day your practice is very important. Morning and evening, tune it up yourself. Early morning, definitely you have to do few minutes exercise and physical health and mental happiness and motivation. And I can win. I want to make 300,000 this year, no matter what. I want to make 500,000 this year, no matter what. You have to think that way. You have to think that way until you reach your goal. Until you reach your goal, 7 days are equal. That's always I say. You don't need to get time off until you reach your goal. If you're happy, just take 1 day off, 2 days off after that one. Nighttime, every single real estate agent must see the MLS listing. You have to know what is going on to the market. If you start to look at one market, you can see how many listings going up and going down, how many days the selling faster. That's mean informed market. You know what exactly going on in the market. One phone call comes, you know the answer. Bring your knowledge up to different areas, mortgage area, inspection area, home insurance, inspection, environment. Read the books in the different areas. Meet the different professionals. Go with them for once a month. Go with one mortgage broker for a coffee meeting, or just a breakfast meeting is easier. That you don't spend too much time early morning. You can go for the breakfast meeting with the mortgage brokers, home inspectors, insurance, different connection. Go out and make the connections. That's what I would say. The new agents, brand new agents, what you have to do? Brand new agents, what you have to do? You have to make an appointment. You don't have a client. Yes, what you have to do? You have to make an appointment with your friend or family member and take them as your client. Okay, and go and look around the properties. Don't stay home. Be out. Okay, that's a practice you need it. All right. We're going to start now. 10 minutes, $1 million questions. Think about every day, guys. Every day, think about it. How do I going to make millions? You need millions. Money is the power. Then you have to ask yourself, am I happy? No, I need another few millions. How can I make it every year, $1 million a year? What business is coming to me? Real estate. What is it connected with the real estate industry to make both side income? Think about that one. And before I start, I need to congratulate Sarah. Sarah sent the message yesterday to our Home Life group. She became as an advisory group in the Toronto Real Estate Board. Congratulations, Sarah. Good luck, and you are bringing your Home Life future name to the Toronto Real Estate Board. And good luck, and keep it up. And you can get the inputs from us. Thank you. Good luck to you. Okay, we are going to talk about today, as I sent the message, fixers and chattels. Fixers and chattels. What is the differentiator between the fixers and chattels? Every one of you know the basic. At the same time, the legal issues, legal cases, and some items are fixtures items, but they are rental items, and the lien. The rental is different than the liens and the lease, capital lease. They are already registering in the properties as a hot water tank and the furnace is a lease items. Is the time they sell, they had to clear it out, those ones. And solar panel in the rooftop solar panel, how they going to transfer from one person to another person. Those are the items there. Before I go to those ones, I'm going to go through the listing first. Okay, when we have a listing, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to comparing what is in the listing and what is in the purchase sale agreement. purchase, which one is more effective? Not more effective. Purchase sale agreement is an agreement. What is in the listing, and if any mistake is in the listing, how are you going to translate, and how are you going to look at the listing versus the purchase sale agreement, whatever prepare in the office, or if you are a listing agent who are bringing into the purchase sale agreement, what you have to look at it, and is there any mistake, what kind of cases you're going to have. Those are the ones we're going to discuss. And as, yes, of course, yeah, the message I sent out for you guys for the chatters and fixtures, we will talk about that one too. For example, if you're taking one listing as an example, the front of the first part of the listing, going to the properties details there. Properties details going to be there. The properties details, the plan number and the lot number is going to be there. We transfer to the, from the listing, we transfer to the purchase sale agreement. If the plan number, lot number, is there any mistakes in the listing, the agent who prepare the listing forms and give it to the office also double check the land registry, your house, and double check all the plan number, lot number, the surveys and everything. But anyway, is there any mistake? The lawyers will correct those ones. They follow by the address and they put the right information and they correct those ones. But anyway, we had to be carefully put it in as a realtor. This is our business. And the next part of the listing, the property type, detached or semi-detached, whatever type of the property, and the frontage, the front, how many feet the front and how many feet the depth, and the legal description, how many bedrooms, how many washrooms, and those are the ones. Okay, these are the real estate agent putting in the listing. These are the one, this information is there, but this information, only few information is transferring to the purchase sale agreement. That's been front size, lot size, how many feet lot, 60 by 180. That's transferring. That's going to be the agreement. Whatever is going to the agreement is very important, because that's going to be the legal issue, binding contract between the buyer and seller. Whatever is in the listing is only the legal word they call as information to treat. That's mean they only putting it to inform to other person. Whatever is in the listing is not going to be, is a legal issue right away. But if anything wrong in the listing, just is a code of ethic issue. Toronto Real Estate Board Code of Ethic, Toronto Real Estate Board Code of Ethic, MLS regulations, and the RICO. Purposely, if you ignore it, and for the marketing purpose, if you anything you put it wrong. For example, I get a call from the lawyer. Get a call from the lawyer. The listing shows detached behind that category. That's the reason I'm transferring to you. The listing shows detached, and the final closing in 2 days ago, the lawyer called me. The shows the link detached is in the area. Then the clients got really upset. Then the lawyer wanted to know what exactly what exact difference between the link detached and the detached. What is the real difference, and how much money value market issues can they able to leave the hidden? The lawyer didn't ask me can they able to leave the transaction or not, but the real meaning. Okay, for example, whatever the description is there, we had to double check and put it in the right description. I got many problem with the description. Some agents change from a few months ago. I got the warning letter from Toronto Real Estate Board. The agent was changing semi-detached to townhouses. Then finally, Kanna was sitting there and write the letter for RICO. It's a question on RICO. The trap complaint came out. He was changing it semi-detached to townhouses a few different times, and sometimes the maintenance townhouses, some people wanted to put as a detached house under the freehold property side. There are mistakes come, but please careful. Okay, in this situation, the link and detached, you had to know what exactly the property is there. You don't follow the previous listing. Please use your head and double check and look at the survey and have a look. Okay, for example, the answer I gave the lawyer, if it is a detached is a separate unit. Link detached, link is a word. We can see it many different link houses. There's a link upstairs. We can see it somewhere. You can see it in the McNichol and Brimley area. There are so many houses link upstairs, and some houses we can see the link in the garage only. That's mean the middle wall, two houses joined together. Middle wall, middle wall is there, that's semi-detached. The garage is only touching it. Builder wanted to say as a link detached, only the garage touching it. That's coming under the link. But now those link you can identify very easily. Anybody can identify easily. But at the same time, underground link there. There are houses in the area, mostly Markham and Shields area houses. The 1990 built houses. Most of them are link houses, because the link means inside only connection. Why they are building that one? That's a building code. Some municipality doesn't want to allow to build a detached houses. They want to limit. They want to build more in that particular areas. Then only they can get the more property tax, and they can accommodate more population in that area, especially close to the main roads and area stuff. In that case, builders, what they do, they under the listing purpose, we can put detached, semi-detached, link detached. This is our purpose. But the land registry is a government side. Link detached, as from my knowledge, please double check with anybody if you want. The link detached is registering as a semi-detached. We can say link detached. But at the same time, the land registry, they don't have a category link detached. Someday they may bring it in recently. I didn't check it this morning. Sorry. But at the same time, as from my knowledge, the link detaches are registering as a semi-detached. Okay, I gave the answer to the lawyer that day for the question. The value slightly different. It's not big difference, but the only big difference is there in my knowledge. Link detached houses, you cannot demolish and build a new one because it's joined underground with other house. The demolishing permit, you can't get it for the link detached properties unless otherwise you own both houses. Okay, when you are putting the listing, carefully put the listing, and when you transferring this one to the purchase sale agreement, double check for the lot size. Lot size always come as a problem. Sometimes pie-shaped lots. The front edge only 30, the back side only 80. In this case, some agents, they want to do the marketing purpose. They want to put it as a the back side is 80, then they put it as a front is 80, or irregular and front 80. That's the misleading ones. Carefully put that one. But whatever transferring from the listing to the purchase sale agreement, court case. Whatever mistakes in the listing, the code of ethics from the Toronto Real Estate Board as well as RICO issue. And if you follow with that one, seller's name, if somebody come and ask, can I skip the seller's name and call the listing agent before you prepare the offer for the listing seller's name? Sellers doesn't want to tell the name. No, that's not available anymore. Used to be, yes. Mid 2000, yes, you don't need to put the seller's name. You can call the listing agent to verify the seller's name before you prepare the offer. But nowadays, listing is seller's name is one of the mandatory part. You cannot skip those ones. And when you come down for the kitchen side, family room, basement, finished or unfinished, the age of the properties, what kind of heating sources, those are the information for the listing only. Whatever transferring again to the purchase sale agreement is going to be the court cases. And the end, if we make any mistake, we had to pay the penalty to the buyer or seller. For example, here, air condition, for example. Air condition is in the listing. This is the particular listing, I have an air condition. Maybe air condition is not there. Maybe the salesperson by mistakenly put it in. Other way around, the listing doesn't show any air condition. And when they make in the purchase sale agreement, they put in the air condition, garage door opener, and equipments. Those are the item they are putting in the listing. Which one is valid? Whatever is in the purchase sale agreement is the one valid. Whatever is in the listing is not valid. Even though it's in the listing, no air condition. For example, recent case, not a case, legal issue. There is no air condition in the house, no garage door opener in the house, but the agent didn't put it in the listing. But at the same time, purchase sale agreement shows air condition, and air condition is there, and plus garage door openers. Who is liable? Agent liable or owner's liable? The purchase sale agreement between who? Buyer and the seller. Agent is only preparing. Agent is not liable unless otherwise the lawsuit come in a different category. But at the same time, who is liable? Buyer and seller liable. And the seller can come and sue the agent afterwards, saying that one he misled. This is the agent mistake. Agent didn't carefully check this one. In that case, RICO is there. RICO insurance is there. omission, error and omission, you are covered by what are the mistake you do are covered by error and omission insurance, but the deductible is there $2,500. The maximum you end up paying only $2,500. But at the same time, if the seller sue you because seller say you didn't carefully enough and you didn't look at carefully, that's the reason they end up paying $10,000 for the air conditioner and garage door opener. Then the legal issue. But at the same time, purchase and sale agreement. The party of the agreement is buyer and seller. They are the one agreeing what is there in the agreement, but is not there. I see in some cases, some different board, non-Toronto Real Estate Board, some different board, what they're doing is, they're making the listing and mark it as a Schedule D. Okay, they're writing the listing as a Schedule D. And when they make the purchase sale agreement, Schedule A, we always know, we make the Schedule A. Schedule B, always the listing company's documentation, Schedule B. But sometimes Schedule C, we use it in case we need anything to attach. Power of the listing, we already have Schedule D, F, whatever we want it. But at the same time, some companies, they make as a listing as a Schedule D and they put it with the offer. In that case, what happened? This one is this is part of the agreement. Whatever is here is a part of the agreement. They are both agreeing that one. Okay, careful that one. I see in few places, I'm London, Ontario agent, London, Ontario board and different agents, they are making a listing as a schedule. If you have a listing or if you receive any offer, carefully watch those one if they put it listing as a schedule. That means everything is the listing going under the transferring to the agreement. Okay, all right. When you are going through other things in the listing, measurements, yes, you can't copy the measurement from the previous real estate agent, but only exception Toronto Real Estate Board gave during the pandemic time. No agents cannot go there and measure it. In that case, they said, yes, you can. They're allowing the following the previous listing for the for the measurement side, but still they are saying you had to mention it. All measurements are approximate and followed by the previous listing, because the pandemic time you cannot go inside the houses and you measure it yourself. Otherwise, you had to measure it. As a real estate agent, that's your job to do. But if there are any errors in the measurement, that's a separate cases. And when we come to the remarks area, clients' remarks, extras, and brokers' remarks. Carefully word it. Whatever you want to put it to the clients, whatever you translate to the salespeople's only. For example, there are many cases I've seen transferring the data from the Toronto MLS to Realtor.ca, Toronto MLS to other websites, public website. Only the client's remarks and extras only goes. The brokers' remarks are limited to the real estate brokers. That means if you are a Toronto Real Estate Board member, if you are logged on to Toronto Real Estate Board membership member, MLS system only, you can read everything. But the regular clients, when they go to Realtor.ca, they are getting the 95% of the information, but not for the broker command. In that case, for example, basement apartment, non-direct offer status of the basement apartment. Say non-direct offer status of the basement apartment, where are you going to put it in? Client's remarks or broker's remark? Definitely go to the client's remarks. Legal case, not recent. 2 years ago, I see also the case in the Ajax. The agent who listed, they put it in the listing, is a non-direct offer status of the basement apartment, and the clients came as a walk-in client through open houses. They see the listing in the Realtor.ca. Then after that one, he forgot to put it in the purchase sale agreement, non-direct offer status. They went to the case. The courts, the client said he never mentioned anything. The agent was saying he's in the listing. The listing agreement shows non-direct offer status only under the broker's remarks. It doesn't transfer to the wording to the regular MLS. In that case, agent paid, agent default. What I'm trying to say, carefully think about it. It's your business, think about it. See what is the difference, rather than don't go randomly and sell the houses. Think about it. What is client's remarks? What is extras? What you have mentioned in the extras? Fridge, stove, washer, dryer, all coming in the extras. And if you want to mention anything, mention carefully. And the listing as a marketing purpose, you can do certain things, but the offer, be carefully goes. Okay. And now we come to the topic. I said we're going to talk about chattels and fixtures. Okay, chattels and fixtures. This is an issue now. Not now. This is an issue always we have. Chattels and fixtures. It's a basic understanding, basic principle for the chattels. Chattels are item for the personal property. The assets identify is movable. That means chattels. What are the item is standalone there, and we are plucking item. That means most of the plucking items coming under the chattels. Fridge is a chattel, the stove is a chattel. But building dishwasher is an issue. Is whether it's a chattel or fixture. But we always put it under the chattel side. But it's kind of fixture too. Sometimes the argument goes. Sometimes it's already. If it is a fixtures are screw, glue, and screw it permanently attached to the house. Those are coming under the fixture side. But at the same time, there are certain items can come in between, especially for the built-in dishwasher, wall mounting TVs. Wall mounted. Is it wall mounted? What is that? It's coming under the fixture. But at the same time, TVs are chattels. We are plugging in the chattels. And whatever plug-in coming as a chattel, but we cannot assume whatever plug-in as a chattels. The computers, the computers there at the table, that's plug-in. Then we cannot say the items of plug-in is a chattel is mine. No, you can't say that one. That belongs to them. When I was reading, I always prepare you guys before the meeting, even though it's a basic topic I always go through. Interestingly, I seen something even today morning under the chattels category. One of the law firm, they put it in books. Whatever the books are in the house, those are coming under chattels. The beds are in the chattels. The couches and computers and computers, all of them are under the chattels category. But doesn't mean you're going to get it if it is not in the system. We had to put it in the system. Purchase agreement, what you are getting it, what you are not getting it. You had to clearly mention. You cannot be lazy or you cannot ignore it for those ones. That's a legal issue. For example, if it is there is the fridge, you are saying is a fridge. Yes, it's a fridge is there, but existing fridge, the word is good word. We have to put existing fridge in the kitchen. But that fridge, maybe you can get a copy and keep it. But at the same time, if you don't put in what kind of brand fridge is there, if you go to the courts, the seller might say the purchase agreement is existing fridge. Yes, it's existing fridge is in the different part of the house. In that case, you can, if you see some claims, if some sellers are tricky, if you see sellers are tricky, and the lower closing comes, put some extra words and mention it. In that case, you can avoid some legal issues at the end. If you find any unique appliances. And last month, we had some issue with the office. One of the deal, the play place in the backyard. Play place in the backyard was fixed there, and gazebo, same house. The agent, the clients asked the agent, are they going to leave this one? Agent said yes. Agent says yes. Agent asked other agent, are they going to leave it? Yeah, the agent said, yeah, they're going to leave it. Finally, after closing, they didn't see it. Then where you go? Nothing you can do because it's not coming under the contract. Whatever. Then in that case, if you see some sellers, tricky sellers, make sure to put everything in the offer. Now I know nowadays it's going for multiple offers and everything. We want to get the house first. These are not a matter, but I am talking about this topic today. That's the reason I am mentioning this as an issue. All right, and Mark Weisleader, he was here one of the meeting in our office. He was talking about the chattels and fixtures. Then interesting story, he said, chattels and fixtures. One of the golf, recreational property, he was closing the transaction. He was acting for the buyer side. In this case, buyer and seller having some issues. During the transaction. And they put all the light fixtures, all the electric light fixtures, yes. But the bulb, they never mentioned about the bulb. Usually we always putting the light fixtures. But at the same time, that's one of the play area. All the bulbs are very expensive bulbs. Then they remove that one. According to Mark, that time the bulbs cost over $100,000. Over $100,000 bulbs. They remove the bulbs because of the issue with the seller. Seller remove it the day before. Okay, what I'm trying to say, rather than get in trouble, if you find anything is important, just put it in. Okay, the important part today is not the fixtures and chattels only. Okay, what kind of fixtures are there? Sorry, what kind of fixtures are there? What kind of chattels are there? Is a rental item or own item? If it is an item is owned, is there any monthly payment for the item? Is a capital lease or regular rental? We have to look at those one. Okay, I'll go one by one. Okay, hot water. The Ontario, they started with the hot water tanks. Hot water tank rental. That's Ontario, one of the common one. Hot water tank rental, $30 renting charges. Why everybody want to go to the hot water tank rental? You can buy it and put it in $4,000 rather than paying though. The reason those days they said, if any emergency come, rental item, they guarantee it within 4 hours service because we need a hot water in the winter time. That's mean the Ontarians are thinking the rental item for the hot water tank is better because the replacement is free and they're paying only small amount. Those days $20, now later on 30 days $30, but within 4 hours service. But that's one change now. A lot of changes are there. The hot water tanks from one tank to other tank, when they change the hot water tank, they don't use the word. They say, look, how much you are paying now, $30. Okay, so you're going to pay the $30 fees. But when they change it, sometimes they change it as a capital lease. Careful my word. They're changing as a capital lease item. But the same $30 you're going to pay. They are saying, okay, you're going to get the new tank with the same price. But at the same time, that's not a rental item. That's a lease item, capital lease item. You are owning that item, but you are going to pay. How many years you going to pay? Even I met one of the builder. He said the payment is going to be lifetime payment. That means there is no full stop for the payment. How long you going to pay? For example, when you sell the property, if the item is not a rental item, it's a lease item. What they do, the capital lease item, they put the lien on it. If they put the lien on it, if you are not putting the agreement of purchase and sale, buyer is taking over the lease from the seller, just you are covered. If you don't put anything only as a rental item, hot water tank, that's not a rental item. In that case, what's the end? Seller has to pay the money to buy it and give it to the buyer. And even some builders now, when they builders wanted to do all the tricky game and playing the game. Most of the builders, reputed builders are different, but some builders are playing lots of games. Okay, they put the tankless hot water and air condition. Sometimes they don't put the air condition furnace. Or else air conditioner and furnace together as a multi-combined unit, HVAC unit these days. They are leasing it out. They are leasing it out $100, $125 a month. That's a big money, $100, $120 a month. But they don't tell in advance. They don't tell in advance. When you buy from the house, that's going to be there and written down the builder's documents. You can see it, very, very small letters. Very small letters, pages and pages. Many buyers doesn't go to the lawyer to review. They save money. They buy the property for $1 million, but they don't want to pay the lawyer for $500 to read what is there or what is not there. Anyway, that's a different kind of story for our behavioral problem. But at the same time, if I stick with the topic, if it is a hot water tank rental, air condition is rental. Sorry, capital lease. When the transferring time, if you don't put it in the purchase sale agreement, buyer is taking over, seller going to pay the money to clear it out. That's a must. Okay, for example, there are cases comes, if they don't put it in the lien, for example, if it is a capital lease, but at the same time, they don't put the lien in the house for that payment. In that case, lawyers doesn't know. When the time of the transaction, both lawyers doesn't know. These are the one need to be cleared out. Okay, then what happened after the buyer buy the property? After he bought the property, he get the bill for the hot water tank and tankless hot water heaters and furnace, $100 or more. In that time, they realize, okay, there's a mistake. In that case, what they had to do, they had to go to the courts. They had to go to the courts, and buyer need to sue the seller to clear it out for that particular amount. There's a court decision going to be there. What happened? Seller and the buyer, they sue the real estate agent, because lawyers always say, if the agent have an insurance, in that case, they want to cover the cost. They always go to the lawsuit for the salesperson, go under the lawsuit, not to check, especially listing salesperson, go to the lawsuit. Why you didn't check it carefully for that particular items? These are one of the issues comes. Please careful. Have a checklist. Don't be too excited and go and get the listings without double check. That's one, okay? But at the same time, again, the contract between the buyer and seller contract, not the real estate agent directly involved in the contract. If the seller doesn't say, if you are a real estate agent, you're asking, seller doesn't say this is the lease item, how can you know? You don't know. Okay, but we are not a secret agent to go and verifying from other people, and we had to do our due diligence. That's the only one we can do. Carefully handled. Yesterday, one of the girl asked me, she showed the property and she ready to put the offer, but the property come with a solar panel. I know she's in the group right now. The property under the solar panel. Okay, solar panel is one of the interesting part, guys. Solar panel is, we all like to have the solar panel to help the environment and making our own electricity and bring it down the less pollution. And there are many issues. Some other countries are involving the solar panel much higher than Canada. Canada, based on the weather conditions, only we are very little. Some Middle East countries and Asian countries are going forward to solar panel issues. But in our side, we are strict with our side. Solar panel, the way they're putting the solar panel, as for my knowledge, again, there are so many ways they can do it, as for my knowledge. They look at the direction. There are some solar panel, they put it even the ground level, if the land is big. In the rooftop area, based on the direction, they are coming in, connecting the solar panel. That's a free of charges. Free of charge. The company put it free of charges and signed the lease agreement, contract agreement with the seller for the 25 years. What they do, they say, okay, every year you get some money from the solar panel. The reason the electricity bills are different. Daytime is higher, much higher price, and the nighttime, evening time is low. There are peak time and non-peak time. Anyway, I go with the right word. And the peak time, maybe the daytime is a peak time. Maybe you are not home. The peak time, the daytime is a very good sunlight. That time the solar panel produce more electricity. They sell it to the Toronto Hydro. They sell it for the higher price and buy it for the lower price the evening time when they need more money. If that difference, you can make money at the end of the year, maybe $500 or something like that. You'll make money. Whenever they come and install the solar panel, they sign some places, some companies, they give the bonus, $2,000 to $5,000 bonus to install the solar panel because they want to promote their business and keep it there. But at the same time, they put the lien on the property for 25,000 to 50,000 can be the size of the panel. And if you ask them to take it off, you had to pay the money for them. Okay, that means the houses come with the solar panel. The lien is going to be there. The buyer has to take the lien, assume the lien from the seller, or if the seller want to clear it out the lien and give it to the buyer, that's going to be expensive for the seller side. Careful if you have a solar panel. Solar panel guys, they will remove the solar panel free of charges when the time they come to put the roof. The roof changes time. They will do it, I believe, is once in every 15 years. They remove it and put it back again for the time they're putting the roof side. Other than that, solar panel, you cannot remove it without paying the money. The company who signed the contract with you, then they put it in, and this is going to be there in the house for 25 years. And before the end of the lease term, you ask them to leave, take the solar panel out. The seller has to pay for the money. The cost is going to be this big time. And it's happened to our office again. We are seeing so many closings comes. The seller didn't disclose solar panel is there. Buyer bought the property with the inspection. The buyer was there in the house for 3 hours and did the inspection. Inspector didn't mark anything about the solar panel. Buyer doesn't know the solar panel. They're closing the transaction only, the lawyer's call. The interesting part, buyer doesn't know until the closing there's a solar panel in the rooftop area, because he's saying it's not clear that day or whatever the reason. Anyway, finally they negotiate the price reduction for that particular transaction. Okay, whatever in the house, and again, coming back again, either fixtures or shutters. Fixtures coming under the furnace fixtures, air condition fixtures. If there's a pool, fixtures, pool equipments coming under the shutters. Okay, any fixtures and shutters in the house, again, I'm finalizing, rounding up the fixtures and shutter side. The wall-mounted TVs or anything else there can be shutters and fixtures, but put it in writing, please. Put it in writing in the offer. Even though you don't do the right way, make an amendment at least after that one and put everything there. In this case, you are safe. Okay, and if anything lean, the monthly payment one, you have to assume that one. There are some companies in Oshawa, Schedule B. In this Schedule B, they are putting as a standard, any rental item, buyer is taking over. If you are with the buyer, you don't transfer anything, but the Schedule B showing buyer is taking over. But no, what will happen? The company will say no. So Schedule B showing you have to take over the rental item. That's been, you are the owner for, you had to pay for us for another 10-15 years for that one. Carefully read those ones. All right. I have some few questions today. Agent said to give me some few questions, then we're going to go through. The first question I posted today, one of the agent asked me, I start from there, and then there are some chat box. Okay, first I go to the chat box then. What's the first question, Gana? If the basement is completed without city permission, what is the best way to disclose on the listing? Okay, basement is completed without the permission. Okay, get the permission. After you finish a basement, my advice, city never going to tell you to break it down anything. You can say, I don't know, we finished the basement without the permission, and you can apply to get they will come and check it out and get the basement. And the question is here, how can I disclose in the listing? You can put the basement is finished, but if the basement is an apartment, you have to say non-rectangular status of the basement apartment. And the offer also in the listing, you have to put it in the client's remarks. Finished basement, non-rectangular status, if it is a basement apartment. And the purchase sale agreement, just you have to mention that one. If it is a basement is there, there's a fire code is there. The buyer, after they buy it, he can come back and sue for certain things for the fire code side. But don't say it's a single family residence. You are selling as a single family residence. In this case, only one family going to live there. It's not the rental purpose. If the rental purpose, you have to legalize. You don't need to make as a duplex, but at the same time, you have to legalize the basement apartment. How do you disclose it in the listing? If you want to put basement, it's a basement, finished basement, and say you cannot say without permission. Without permission, that's not the right way to say. I can say go and tell the seller to get the permission, apply for the permission right away. Or I'll say if it is an apartment site, you must put it in non-rectangular status. The next question, can you move a little bit up, please? Okay, the next question, the net. The window net covering inside the window, it is shutters or fixtures. It's coming into the fixtures. Last time one client mentioned on their last purchase, the seller took them away. I know it is not costly, but it is good to know. Okay, some cheap sellers are doing some funny things like that. No, they cannot take it out to the house. That's part of the house. Okay, anything missing there, by my advice, is it costly or not costly? This depends on the buyer side. Your reputation and what you're going to have a term with them. Tell the buyer to go for the smoke line course. if you tell the paralegal, or you can learn and tell the seller to go their own and fill out the smoke claim courts claims. In that case, seller will put it back again. That's what I would say. If the wind on it, they want to take it out and go, what kind of seller is that? This happened many times, guys. This has happened. It's a good question actually, but it's advise the seller and work with the advise the buyer and work with the buyer and tell them to go for a smoke claim courts, and they will come back and put it in. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. And there's a question here early morning. Yeah, send me the question. I posted this question in immediately the WhatsApp because I want everybody to think before you while you are in the meeting. Okay, the question is here. If the client purchases an assignment condo, assignment means you are taking over the builder's contract. One original buyer bought it from one price, and you are taking over the builder's contract. How much money you pay doesn't matter. Your contract between the builder and you, the original contract. It's a very good question, actually. It's a very good question. Okay, if my client purchases an assignment condo, the GST HST rebate claim based on the builder's price or assignment price. It's a very good question. Example, builder's price is 350 and the assignment price is 540. The reason immediately post this question, many of you having some issues for this one. Assignment means the original buyer, based on this question, buy it for 350, assigned to other person for 540. Then the contract between the assigner and the builder, how much? The price 350. You are paying another $190,000 for the increased value over the time, or some reason you want to buy this one. Okay, that doesn't mean HST and PST you are not going to pay that. The real value you are buying it for 350, not 540. The land transfer tax, mortgage value, everything coming out of the 350 category. Okay, in that case, HST rebate is based on 350. But there's a tricky point. That's the reason I post this question right away. HST regulation is a different regulation. You buy it from the builder for 350. The HST stand for GST and PST. The GST portion, the time you file the taxes, what is the purpose you are buying it? For example, you buy the house to live there. In that case, there is no issue. You simply get the GST under the HST part, GST portion. You simply get it. But if you are buying it and rent it out, this case is real business purpose, assignment purpose. In that case, the new price for the properties went up to 540. Anything more than the 450, there is no GST rebate. Anything more than 450, there is no GST rebate. There's a price went up to 540 right now. Then GST portion of the HST rebate is cancelled. Only you can get 350,000 worth. 350,000 worth of PST only. That rebate portion of the rebate only is you can get it. You answer the question here. The HST rebate is based on the builder's value, but this assignment clearly shows. The new price is 540. That's been GST portion of the HST automatically cancelled. Only eligible if you are renting out to somebody else. The PST provincial part only, you are eligible to apply and get the rebate. Okay.
Thank you, Salvana. I got it.
Sorry.
I say thank you. I got it right now. So I didn't. Just what I wanted to clear the
very good
part.
Please participate. Yeah. Send the question to participate, or else put in the chat box to participate. The different questions come. We can bring up the knowledge higher for the different areas. The next question. Prabha sent the next question. I have a question today. My buyer client purchased using the purchase sale agreement form 100. Copy is not that clear. There's a freehold property. Copy is not that clear. The bank requests a good copy. What is the legal or easiest way to fix the problem? Good working copy. Seller sign in original with the DocuSign. Okay. This is the very common one. We have the clear copy. You make the clear copy as like the original copy and putting the sign as the original date. You don't put the today's date. I repeat again. Make the original clear copy. What are the copies you guys make it? You started with 980 and crossing, come out to say 880 or 1,010. Doesn't matter. Put the new price new price, and make the clear copy with the new price and new condition, whatever is there, everything. You don't need to initial everything, and let the buyer and seller sign. The clear copy is only valid. Clear copy is only valid with the original copy. While I am talking, I have one confusion. Which date we put? Maybe I can send you directly after discuss with the lawyer. But the time we did the transaction, many times we use the old date because there's a clear copy. The offer date started. Okay, let me check with the date, which date we're going to sign. But the clear copies, you can simply make it and send it to the bank. The date of the transaction, I come to the next meeting and tell you guys, or else, yeah, I send you personally after discuss with the lawyers. Okay. The next question. Next question, if anyone willing to buy a home with ready cash, do you require any employment details or mortgage approval? Please let me know. Okay, this is a very good question. Okay, you are buying for cash, but when you're buying for cash, the employment letter you always give for the banks to qualifying for the mortgage. If you are buying for cash, nobody is qualifying for you. You are buying it with the cash. You don't have to provide to nobody for the employment letter, mortgage approval. Yes, mortgage approval. If you are going for the pre-construction condos, even though you pay for the cash, sometimes the builders ask you want to give the mortgage letter. In that case, you have to get the disclosure by yourself. I want to get help from Kanna for this question. What do you have to do if you want to buy for cash? Pre-construction condo without mortgage, they want to buy for cash. They have to get the proof of the cash.
No, builders will still require proof of mortgage majority of the time. You can let them know that you're going to buy it cash. If the builders accept proof of your bank statement showing that you have enough cash, it's the builder's discretion.
The question, I had to make it as two parts, but resale and pre-construction. If it is a resale, nobody is asking you because you have to close it in 60 days time. You say, I have a mortgage. You don't need to give the proof of the mortgage to anybody. I'm buying for cash. But the builders, most of the time, they ask for the mortgage approval. I asked Kanan to help for this question. He said, depends on the builder. But common sense discussion, maybe you have the money, you can show the proof of the money and disclose yourself. I have the proof of the money and I'm buying for my own. You can do that one. But talk to the builder for that pre-construction part. And Moon already answered it here. Moon already put the part. It's cash deal. There's no mortgages involved. I think you should go okay without employment details. Thanks, Moon. Thanks for your comments too. If you are in the group.
Builder will ask for a proof of funds.
Okay, thanks, Ramesh. Yeah, Ramesh also a mortgage broker. He's saying proof of fund. They ask. Okay, thanks, Ramesh. Thanks for your comment. Yeah, they have rights to ask. How are you going to buy? We are buying. Okay, show me the proof. Thanks, Ramesh. Thanks, Moon. Thanks, Kana. Any questions there? Oh, okay, I have another question here. It came out yesterday. Anyone have any question? Please come out and ask me. We have time. We have half an hour time to discuss.
Silvana, and the question last one and the clear copy key and the date பழைய date இருந்தாலும் செல்லரும் initial பண்ணணும் sign பண்ணணும்.
Full signature from the buyer and seller and a clear copy supposed to go with the original copy.
Okay, thank you, Silvana.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, I have few questions. Ask me the question if you want anything to come out and ask me the question. Okay, Canadian resident, this questions came this week. Canadian resident living in US. The Canadian resident living in US for last many years sold a property in Canada. Do they need to pay for the capital gain or no capital gain, and what are the situation? Okay, the capital gain tax and capital gain tax based on the residency. Residency mean if you are living in the place only, you become a resident. If you leave out 2 years from Canada, that means you are Canadian citizen, but you are not a resident of Canada now. You are a resident of US. The last 2 years you are not in Canada. If you are not in Canada, even though one house you have and you are selling that particular house cannot come under the primary residence because you are not residing in Canada. In that case, that's going to be an issue who live the property. Who live the property and what are the purpose you use the property, and you have to show your parents live there, grandparents live there, and those kind of details. But still, it's going to be not a permanent. Your primary resident doesn't come out because 2 years you are missing out. But if you file the tax, if the government doesn't know, if you don't disclose it, nobody going to know. That's the answer I gave them. Same other way around. Here, other agent asked me a few weeks ago. The person is a Canadian citizen. He's working in US about the mortgage side and the foreign tax credit side. Foreign tax credit side, no, you are not a foreigner. You are a Canadian citizen. Even though you are living in a different country, you have a Canadian federal government valid ID. If you are providing the federal government valid ID, you are not coming and you don't need to pay for the foreign tax credit. You don't need to pay for the foreign tax credit. In this case, the buying side, show your passport. That's fine. You can buy. And selling side, if you are not living there last 2 years, you are losing the primary resident status. Unless otherwise, you file the tax every year and nobody looking at it. But official answer in front of all the salespeople, just the primary residence doesn't apply. Primary resident tax credit is not going to apply. And other question is here, the foreign buyer question. Foreign buyer want to buy the 8-plex apartment in London, Ontario. Do they need to pay for the foreign tax credit? Answer is no. Please check it out, the boundaries for the foreign tax credit. Foreign tax credit boundaries are Toronto and the Horseshoe area. Start from the Niagara region to come here, Toronto and the Hamilton part, and go up to I believe is Peterborough. Please double check the area for the foreign tax credit part. But at the same time, London, Ontario, I'm pretty sure is not covered. It's not coming under the region of foreign tax credits areas. In that case, London, Ontario, you can sell anything without foreign tax credit. Number two, that's one of the reasons 905 area why the price went up, because the foreign buyers are pushing it 905 area than the Toronto area. That's one of the reason. Pandemic, one of the reason, and foreign tax credit, one of the reason. The surrounding areas are going high these days. And other things, the foreign tax credit applicable only up to the apartment. Peterborough, yeah. Start from Niagara Falls, Horseshoe area, come here in Hamilton and go up to Peterborough. Those are the one foreign tax credit, and that's apply only residential properties. Multi-resident properties up to 5 units. Anything over 5 units, multi-residence properties is coming under the commercial. In that case, if it's according to the question, they're going to buy it for 8-plex. When they buy for 8-plex, that's coming under the commercial. Commercial, industrial, office building, those doesn't affect for the foreign buyers who invest the money in Canada. Only the residential property. Only the residential property up to 5-plex. Those are the one coming into the category of the foreign buyers extra 15% tax. Again, the same person sent me the other question. The foreign buyer tax, how can we escape, or how can we not to pay for the foreign buyer's tax? Okay, for example, because his client, the verbal condition, his client is going to move to Canada. Client is going to move to Canada in a year. They want to buy the property first before we apply for the immigration status from Dubai. Okay, for example, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not 100% sure about this answer, but at the same time, as for my knowledge, yes, he can buy a property right now, and he has to pay for the foreign tax right now. And within 2 years, 24 months period, I know it's 2 years or 24 months, he come to Canada and become a permanent resident of Canada, he can get the refund back. Please advise that your clients to this kind of question, check with the lawyers. Check with the lawyers. As for my knowledge, he has to pay it first, and he has to get the refund after we become as a resident. This happened one of my office agents deal. Foreign student who came to Canada, they bought the property after 1 year, became as a resident. became as a Canadian resident. Canadian government gave the permanent residency and applied and got the foreign tax credit back. I know that part. We know office transaction. Anybody have any other questions? I have few other questions here. Okay, do I need to get the BRS for all my transaction? The question. Do I need to get the BRS for all my transaction? What is customer service agreement? How can I register the customer service agreement? It's a very good question. Very good question. This came all this week to discuss. Okay, do I need to get the BRS for all my transaction? No, you don't need to get the BRS for all your transaction. That's been, okay, for example, since 2008, RICO bring the regulation saying that when work with the realtor, everyone has to sign the work with the realtor form. If you are dealing with the realtor, you have to sign the work with the realtor. Work with the realtor is a mandatory. You have to do it. You must do it. That's not a contract. That's only working with the realtor. That's law came out by RICO 2008. Okay, buyer registry system and agency agreement started since 2000 and onwards. Before that one, we don't have anything. To protect your rights, protect your time, the buyer not to move around everywhere. Okay, for example, if there's somebody, they come and talk to you, and you after you sign the work with the realtor form, you are starting to explain he becoming as your client. When you becoming as your client, yes, you have to sign the buyer. You don't need to sign it. If you sign it, there's an extra. If you sign it, the buyer has to pay for the money. Even though he go and buy something private, because you are spending the time with the buyer. It's an American certain states started in America. It's moved to Canada in early 2000. The buyer agency agreement and the buyer registry system came only 5-6 years ago. Okay, buyer agency agreement is there. The agreement buyer saying there are few categories there in the buyer agency agreement. First, that particular buyer is supposed to be a client, not your customer. Number one. That's mean you are giving the full service for the client service. Second thing, the buyer is telling you which area he is going to buy. You're going to mark which area he is going to buy, what category of the property he is going to buy, plus how much commission you are deserved to get from that particular transaction. Maybe you can put 2.5%. After you put 2.5%, even though the buyer buy it from you, the property only 2%. You have the right to claim another 0.5% from the buyer because your service is based on 2.5%. If you put it 2.5%, you are eligible to get 2.5%. The MLS listing only giving you 2%. In that case, you are eligible to get another 0.5% from the buyer side. That's only for the clients. Okay, the question is here, do I need to sign for all the clients? Not really necessary. Okay, that's if your own brother going to buy, how can you going to ask, can you sign the buyer agency agreement? It's up to you. But it's customer service agreement. Customer and clients are different. Customer, you are giving the limited service. You are giving the limited service for the customer. I overheard recently the RICO going to cancel the customer service agreement soon. That's what I heard. I don't think they cancel it yet. They're going to cancel it. Anyway, customer service means you are giving the limited access, limited service to the clients. That's a really good one for the you are listing. You are listing. You are standing in the open house. Somebody walk in. In your listing, who is your client? Your seller is your client. Seller is your client. The seller is the one going to pay for the money after you've closed the transaction. And plus seller is your client. In that case, somebody walking in as a customer, and you are going to give the limited access, limited service to that particular customer. In that case, that particular person, you don't need to, this is not your client. You cannot sign the buyer agency agreement for that particular person. You can have two clients for one transaction, one client and one customer. For example, it's a part. You have a listing. You have a listing, and you are standing there and selling the open house. One client coming in. When the client coming in, you are signing the customer service agreement. You don't need to worry about the buyer agency agreement. I don't want to mislead you. You have to ask, do you have an agreement with the buyer agency agreement with any other agent, brokerage or broker and everything? You can ask your courtesy calls. That's the important one. But at the same time, if you sign the customer service agreement, it's your own listing. Customer service agreement is overriding the buyer's service buyer's agreement. Okay, buyer agency agreement is overriding. That's mean even though the particular client signed the buyer agency agreement with a different company or different agents, you are eligible for the commission because you are selling your own property. This is one of the rule. We've seen it for the arbitrations and many cases. I hope you understand. If you are a listing agent, you are standing there and the walk-in buyer coming in, you are signing the customer service agreement. Just as a registered realtor, you had to ask, do you have a buyer agency agreement signed with any other brokerage, broker, anything? But at the same time, customer service agreement is valid, more valid than the buyer agency agreement. In this particular case, is your own clients. Okay. If you have any question, please come out. I have one more question. Can I list the property for out of province? No, our license is limited to Ontario, but always some exceptions come. You can list it, but in the Toronto Real Estate Board, for the different provinces, but I don't think you can link it to other places. This is only for your license, Toronto Real Estate Board, only your license is limited to Ontario alone.
Silvani, can I say two things about the landlord and tenant board matters that I received recently?
That's amazing, Selva. Yes, go ahead. Selva, go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning, guys. Thank you, Silvani. It has been a very informative meeting. I had one question in the chat box that came. One of the questions was, can the landlord, who is a corporation, give notice to a tenant for own use? And unfortunately, they have removed that statute. So you can't, if you're a corporate owner, you cannot give notice to a tenant for your own occupancy. The only two things that you can do in that case is to sell the property and the buyer is going to live in that property, or you're going to demolish the unit. Those are the two that you can do if you're a corporate owner. Otherwise, you cannot give notice. The other one that happened recently is yesterday I went for a hearing. The arrears was $47,000. One of the reasons why the arrears accumulated is because the landlord waited 6 months before he gave the info notice. We gave the notice in October. The hearing came only yesterday in August, after almost 9-10 months. So by the time rent was $2,800 and the arrears was $47,000. And I had to carry the bad news to the landlord saying the maximum rent arrears the landlord and tenant board can give is only $35,000. So as it is, the adjudicator said, you cannot have it here because it's already $47,000. It's more than $35,000. So either he has to go to the Superior Court, which is going to cost a lot of money, or forgive that money. And in any case, the landlord was not going to get the money anyways from this tenant. So I told him, just agree to waive the balance $12,000 and we agree that we'll give them a rebate, but get them to move out. And she agreed to move out by September 30th. So the advice is, don't wait for a couple of months before the tenant doesn't pay. The tenant will give you all sorts of stories. If they don't give you on the first of the month, give an info on the second. That's what I can tell the landlords, so that they avoid this type of mistakes. That's all I have to say.
Thanks, Selva. I saw the question for the corporate owners question and you answered it. Yeah, I saw it. Thanks, Selva. And I have a question, Selva.
Yeah.
This question everybody asks. Okay, after the negotiation, say, for example, say the court's ordering for $18,000 or $20,000 to pay, how soon they had to pay for the tenants? How minimum, is there any minimum amount to pay monthly basis, or is there no minimum?
Okay, so when we get an order from the landlord and tenant board for arrears outstanding, so the way it's worded in this case, at least yesterday, was she's supposed to pay the $35,000 by September 30th when she's moving up. If she doesn't move out by September 30th, then arrears accumulates. And then if she doesn't pay, she has to pay interest based on Courts of Justice Act, which is about 1.25%. So once we get an order from the board, we can file it with the small claims court. And that becomes a judgment. Now, enforcing a judgment is the most difficult part. Because a lot of people think that when they get a judgment from small claims court, that's good. But if the tenant doesn't have money, we can't find them. How are we going to get the money? And then when they come and they say, we have no money, we are on ODSP, we are on welfare, we can only pay you $50 a month. How are you going to get that money? It's very hard. Enforcement is one of the hardest part if people don't have assets in any small claims or superior court matters. Because people don't have money, we can't get money. So one of the things is we have to go to bed with people whom we like. If we don't, then we are in trouble. Is that answer your question? There's no hard and fast rule. They can come to an agreement. So one of the things that we did, we gave them 1 year to pay. But chances are we are not going to see that money, unfortunately. And landlords come to the board and think the board is going to get the money from the the tenants. They're not going to do that. They take a neutral side and they say, yes, the order. You go and fight it among yourselves. The same thing happens in small claims court. That's why I say to people, when you give money, when you do this, make sure that the other person has assets or something to pay you back, because getting a judgment is the easiest part any litigator can do. But enforcing the judgment, it's very hard. You have to go to a collection company, you have to, and then they charge about maybe, depending on who, 30%, 40% if they can get it.
Selva,
Yes.
the same line, okay. As a landlord, can they put in the credit bureau for the tenants credit bureau for this particular areas?
Yeah, you can go to the credit bureau, but usually if you have a judgment, you can file with the credit bureau.
Okay. Okay.
You get the judgment, you file with the credit bureau, but sometimes these people don't care about the credit bureau. You know, they are already.
That's true. That's true. Thank you, Selva, your knowledge.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing. I feel we are blessed to have you in the Zoom meetings, and your knowledge.
I feel blessed to be in this group. Thank you.
The knowledge sharing is not value. That's more than anything else. There's no money value for the knowledge sharing. Thank you so much, Selva. Okay, that's it I have today, guys. If you have any question, put in the chat box or you ask me this. There's one question here. Okay, how can you get the? Oh yeah. This one is discussing the survey side. Okay. Sorry. How can you get the existing survey? Seller is saying it's not available now, but have that clause of APS is provide the survey. Okay. For example, survey is one of the part. Survey is one of the part. You need to have a survey for certain properties. Certain properties, certain kind of properties for the title insurance going to cover the survey side. For example, for a property, say for a properties in the corner property, there are two roads are in the junction. The properties are in the corner properties. Then there is a fence line is going to be there. Both side fence line. Then where is the fence line? You need the survey. You need the survey for the fence line. If the property is the middle property, both sides, the builder's property, both the 30 feet lot, both sides are houses there. You have property in the middle, survey not going to do much for you. But any issues come, the title insurance can easily cover. But the property is a bigger property. For example, you're buying the house with the 3, 4, 5 acres land. Then you need a survey to point it out where your boundaries are, your boundary lines are. For example, you are paying the money for 4 acres land, and after you measure it, it's going to be only the 3.5. But nothing you could do. Nothing you could do. If you have a survey, you can even put a condition, and you can do the survey plan in advance to get it. The survey is important, my knowledge and my experience, especially for the corner properties. If the corner properties, you have to see the fence line. The question is here, how can I get the existing survey? Yes, there are so many websites available. Even the first you go to the first access to us, GeoWarehouse, the store, go to the store and see the survey available for that particular property or not. Some properties are available. The properties built after 90s, and bigger survey companies, They want to make money. They just put it in, upload everything in the electronic version, and whoever go and put it in the survey, they make money. Then you can see the survey plan is in the purchase sale agreement. And I mostly go to the website called protectyourboundary.com. Protectyourboundary.com is one of the website. You can go and search it, but protectyourboundary.com website is expensive. Even one of the agent asked me, I voluntarily went myself and checked pull two sample surveys, and it's cost me around close to $200, but didn't come the right ways. But anyway, that's one of the website. You can see it on the protectyourboundary.com. Then Mark Weissleader sent us one day message. I forwarded you guys of 3 different websites. Maybe I can look around and give you guys. But anyway, you can get existing survey. The better way to do, go to the city, and city's sketch plans. You can get a copy for $15, $20. You can get a city if the property is built after 90s. I don't want to say the extra year. The properties, the newer properties or after 90s, they all have the details. That's the way you can get the existing survey with a cheaper price. Otherwise, you have to call the surveyor and get the surveys cost $1,500. Start from the $1,500 and go higher for the based on the property size.
Selvane, on that point, our Geo Warehouse also is a resource. They do have surveys,
Which one?
not for all the properties, but most of them, you can check there first. It's about $35.
But can you repeat the name of the website, Selva?
Yeah, I can. It's the Geo Warehouse that we all have access to.
Yeah, okay,
That's
yeah.
it. Just
Yeah.
go there, and there you can go check surveys, and
Yeah.
if they are registered and it's there, it's I think it's only about $35.
That's true. That's cheaper too. Yeah. That's your house is cheap, much cheaper than other private websites. That's it for today, and see you next Saturday morning Zoom. Send you all the questions. If you have a question, send it to me. Thank you. See you next class.